Hey everybody, Mr. Simons. I am now going to go through lesson 4 with you. This will probably be split into about, I don't know, we'll see, a few videos, right? Probably at least 3. So um, here's what we're going to be doing, right? It says adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials, all right? And which makes you ask the question, makes me think, what about dividing? And so the thing is, we are going to get to dividing polynomials in Algebra 2. That's one of the hallmarks of Algebra 2 is that you do learn how to divide polynomials. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's difficult, right? But it's a lot less difficult if you've got this adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials thing down, all right? And if you don't, you're going to struggle. All right, so we're going to go through this. Again, this is all still pretty much review material, although some of it is way more recent, like talking like the end of Algebra 1. And so some of you, it's very possible you didn't even get to it, all right? So we'll talk about this. The whole target is for you to be able to add, subtract, and multiply polynomials by the time the lesson's done. What is a polynomial, right? How do we add, subtract those, multiplying them, and we'll talk about doing like basic simple multiplication, and then we're going to talk about doing basically like distributive property that kind of starts to get a little off the rails, right? It gets a little crazy. So yeah, let's roll. All right. So first we're going to talk about what a monomial and a polynomial are, right? So a monomial, right? And now if you know anything about Greek and Latin word roots, all right, you're probably like, Mr. Simons is at it again, right? He's talking nonsense. I'm actually not, because if you do know that, right, mono is Greek Latin word root for one, right? That's what mono means. And poly, right, means many. All right, so you've got one and you've got many, or multiple, right? So monomial is an expression that is a number, a variable, or a product of a number and one or more variables. So the thing that makes a monomial that you will never see anything between it that represents an operator, right? So you're never going to see like you're never going to see a plus or a minus sign in the middle of a monomial, right? You might see it out here, but here think of it more as a negative sign, right? But you're never going to see it actually in it, right? Whereas a polynomial is an expression consisting of one or the sum of more than one monomial, right? So a polynomial, right, can be 2 terms, it can be 200 terms. I mean, that would be a little insane, but you can have it, right? And so here's an example of it, right? And you've got a difference going on here, and then you've got a sum. So there's 2 operators doing things in here, right? And then it's just basically remembering what we call things, right? So the big thing is the constant. I think we need to remember that, and that's always, I always say it, I don't know if this is proper, but I always say it's a number by itself, right? So it's a number that's not attached to a variable, and it could be a fraction, it could be a decimal, right? It could be pi, it could be a square root of something, but it's by itself. It's something that's by itself, okay? And then this is a monomial right here. You got negative 5x if you think of the negative as belonging to this. Remember, we always include the signs to the left of that. They're attached to that. So this is a monomial, this is a monomial, and this is a monomial, and you put them together and you get a polynomial, right? So many monomials, right? And so this one, these two both have a coefficient, which is the number, right? Co means together, right? That's what co means, and that is also Greek Latin word root, right? I don't know where efficient comes from, but that's just, probably means something. And then variable, and they call it variable because it can vary or it can change, right? That's where all these terms come from, right? They're not just created in a vacuum like some insane guy saying, let's call this this. And the reason numbers are called constants is because you can do anything you want to the variable, and it's not going to change the constant because it stays constant. It can't change because a number is just a number. 6 is always 6, right? Doesn't matter what x is. 6 is 6. So that's why they call them constants. And, you know, so like I said, a little bit of digging and thinking a little harder about these terms kind of, it's not a waste of your time. It's really not, okay? So these are the things we're going to use. And the other things we got to talk about is, you know, or not talk about, but just remember is these are our exponents, right? This is our base, is the number that's being raised, right? Y is a variable. -3 would be your coefficient. M would be your variable. It's also your base, and you're raising it to the power of 2, right? Here's a constant. Here's just a variable. We call all of these things terms, right? These are all called terms. And then a monomial is usually, a monomial is a kind of term, right? But a term and a monomial are pretty interchangeable for the most part for what we're doing. All right, so, well, that's enough talking about all this weird vocab stuff, all right? But it's kind of important moving forward that we understand the language and what we're doing here. So I hope this is somewhat helpful to you. And the next lesson, we're going to actually start monkeying around with this stuff. So we'll see you there.